What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. A lot of you have been asking in the comments on social media, everywhere really. Who is Sir Sk8 a lot? What's the story behind the helmet, the board, and the endless quest for the perfect grind? Well, today we're finally pulling back the curtain. This is the official lore of Sir Sk8 a lot. So grab a snack, get comfortable, because we're about to go on a journey. Our story begins not in a sprawling city or a famous skate park, but in a quiet, forgotten town, nestled deep in a valley where the sun always seemed to set a little too early. This town, called Monotonia, was known for one thing: its absolute, mind-numbing predictability. Every day was a perfect copy of the one before. The same people walked the same paths at the same time. The clocks all ticked in unison, and the wind itself seemed to blow on a schedule. In this town lived a young boy. We don't know his real name. He was just one of many who followed the town's silent, unwritten rules. He went to school, did his homework, and never stepped out of line. But inside, a fire was building. He'd spend his nights staring at the moon, dreaming of a world filled with color, speed, and unpredictability. He'd find old, discarded magazines and stare at pictures of skaters in far-off cities, flying through the air, their faces a blur of exhilarating freedom. He saw not just a sport, but an escape, a way to break the perfect gray rhythm of monotonia. He decided he had to build his own board. There were no skate shops in Monotonia, of course, so he scavenged. He found an old, weathered piece of oak from a forgotten barn, strong and sturdy. For trucks, he repurposed the axles from a rusty red wagon left by the roadside. The wheels were the hardest part. He eventually crafted them from the dense, hardened rubber of an abandoned tractor tire, painstakingly sanding them into perfect circles. It was a Frankenstein's monster of a skateboard, heavy and clumsy, but to him it was a chariot of freedom. He practiced in secret late at night. In the one place no one ever went, the old abandoned clock tower at the edge of town. Its gears had long since rusted solid, a monument to a time when even time itself gave up on Monotonia. The cobblestone courtyard around it became his training ground. For weeks he fell over and over again, his body collecting a symphony of scrapes and bruises. But with every fall, the fire inside him burned brighter. He wasn't just learning to skate, he was learning to defy gravity, to defy the predictable patterns of his world. One night, as a storm raged outside, he finally landed his first real trick. It was just a simple ollie, a small hop, but in that moment, suspended in the air for a fraction of a second, he felt it, the break, the sweet, chaotic release from the town's suffocating rhythm. He was no longer just a boy. He was a skater. He kept practicing, his skills growing with his confidence. He learned to grind on the low stone walls and kickflip over cracks in the pavement. The clock tower courtyard became his kingdom, but his secret couldn't last forever. The mayor of Monotonia, a man named Regulator Rick, was the self-appointed guardian of the town's order. He despised anything that was different, anything that disrupted the perfect, monotonous harmony he had so carefully cultivated. He started hearing whispers of strange noises coming from the clock tower at night, the clatter of wheels, the scrape of wood on stone, sounds that didn't belong. Regulator Rick investigated, and one night, he found the boy, mid-kickflip, silhouetted against the moon. He was horrified. This was chaos. This was rebellion. He declared skateboarding an illegal act of public disruption. He confiscated the boy's handmade board, locking it away in the deepest vault beneath the town hall, a place reserved for things that threatened Monotonia's perfect order. The boy was devastated. His key to freedom was gone. The gray world of Monotonia began to close in on him again, but the fire hadn't gone out. It was now a raging inferno. He knew he couldn't stay. He had to leave, to find the world he'd only seen in magazines. That night, with nothing but the clothes on his back, he slipped out of town, vowing to one day return, not just for his board, but for the very soul of his home. His journey took him across the country. He worked odd jobs, saved every penny, and finally bought a real skateboard. a sleek, professional deck. As he traveled, he skated in every city, every town, every back alley he could find. He met other skaters, learned new tricks, and absorbed the vibrant, chaotic culture he had once only dreamed of. He was no longer just a boy from a forgotten town. He was becoming a legend in the underground scene, but he never showed his face. He'd found an old silver motorcycle helmet in a junk shop, and it became his mask. It was a symbol. He wasn't a person. He was an idea, the idea of breaking free. People started calling him by different names, but one stuck, Sir Sk8 a title of respect for the Knight of the Concrete Crusade. During his travels, he encountered a wise old skate shop owner, a man named Dusty, who had seen it all. Dusty saw the fire in Sir Sk8's eyes and the skill in his feet. He took him under his wing, not just teaching him advanced tricks, but also the philosophy of skating. He taught him that skating wasn't just about defiance. It was about creation. It was about seeing the world not as it is, but as a canvas of possibilities. A staircase isn't just for walking. It's a set. A handrail isn't just for safety. It's a challenge. Dusty gave him a new board, a custom deck made from a mysterious, lightweight wood that seemed to hum with energy. And on it he painted a crest, a broken clock with a skateboard for its hands, the symbol of his quest. The new board felt like an extension of his own body. With it, his skills reached an entirely new level. He could skate faster, jump higher, and grind longer than ever before. He felt he was finally ready to go back. His return to Monotonia was like a scene from an old western. He rolled into town at high noon, his silver helmet gleaming in the sun. The townsfolk, still locked in their daily trance, stopped and stared, regulated. Rick, now older and even more rigid, came out to confront him. He didn't recognize the boy, but he recognized the spirit of rebellion. He recognized the skateboard. What followed was not a fight, but a demonstration. Sir Sk8 didn't say a word. He let his board do the talking. He skated through the town square, turning the mundane architecture into a symphony of motion. He grinded the benches where people sat in silence, alleyed over the perfectly trimmed hedges, and board slid down the handrails of the town hall itself. He moved with a grace and power that the people of Monotonia had never witnessed. He wasn't destroying their order. He was showing them a new kind of beauty, a beauty in chaos, in freedom, in the unexpected. For this next part I felt a little creative, so here we go. He rode to the square with a purpose and a plan to show this dull town the freedom of man. Regulator Rick, with a face full of dread, yelled, "Stop this at once." From the words that he said, but Sk8 flew, a blur on his board, ignoring the threats and the angry man's word. He hit the main fountain with a splash and a spray, turning their gray world to color that day. The kids started cheering, their eyes open wide. They saw a new path with nothing too high. He flipped and he spun, a magnificent sight, a silver-helmed hero bathed in the light. The town that was sleeping began to awake, for goodness and freedom and for pity's sake. The children were the first to break free. They started clapping, then cheering. Their parents, seeing the joy in their children's eyes for the first time, slowly began to smile. They saw that Sir Sk8 wasn't a menace. He was an inspiration. Regulator Rick, seeing his power crumble, made one last, desperate move. He challenged Sir Sk8 to a duel. If Rick won, skateboarding would be banned forever. If Sir Sk8 won, Rick would return his original board and leave the town to find its own rhythm, the challenge. To be the first to reach the top of the old clock tower, Rick would take the stairs. Sir Sk8 would skate. The race began. Rick huffed and puffed his way up the winding stone steps. Sir Sk8 took a different route. He used the town's architecture as his personal ramp, launching himself from a rooftop onto the side of the tower, grinding up a support beam, wall riding, and kick-flipping from ledge to ledge in a breathtaking ascent that defied logic and gravity. He reached the top just as Rick was rounding the final flight of stairs, exhausted and defeated. True to his word, regulator Rick unlocked the vault. There it was, his first board, the heavy, clumsy piece of oak and rusty metal, Sir Sk8. A lot took it, not as a trophy, but as a reminder of where he came from. He didn't stay in monotonia. He knew his journey wasn't over, but he left the town a changed place. Skate parks began to appear. Kids built their own boards. The town found a new rhythm, not of perfect unison, but of diverse, happy, and sometimes chaotic energy. And so, Sir Sk8 a lot continues his journey. He skates from city to city, forever searching for the next challenge, the next perfect line. He started this channel not for fame or for money, but to share his philosophy, to show everyone that no matter how gray your world seems, you have the power to bring your own color, your own speed, your own chaos. The silver helmet isn't to hide his identity, but to show that he could be anyone. He could be you. Every video, every trick, every grind is a continuation of that promise he made to himself in that dusty clock tower courtyard. It is a testament to the idea that with a little bit of defiance and a whole lot of passion, you can break any rhythm and create your own. That's the lore, that's the mission, and that's why we're all here. Thanks for tuning in for this special story. I hope it gives you a new perspective on the channel and what we do here. Now let's go find a new line to skate. Keep rolling, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in the adventure. Peace out.